Hi. So, anyways, I put the other two videos up. Well, the part 1 and part 2 of what I just talked with you about, and a video of Olive and Zeal. Olive's my kitten, and Zeal is my cat. And so, I was gonna talk with you about what I believe, and it's a really broad subject. I'm not very articulate, especially when it comes to this. It's like I can articulate in private, but it's harder when you're trying to take everybody into consideration. You know what I mean? Because I can say what I believe to Kelly, because Kelly knows what I believe, but then you put it out there and you wonder who's gonna see it. You know, are my parents gonna watch this? Are my girlfriend's family gonna watch this? Is this gonna cause contention? Or is my brother gonna watch it? And it's not really like, you know, if they know what I believe, that's fine. I just don't want it to cause contention. And so they know like basics of what I believe. And I don't know everything that they believe, but I have, I think, a better understanding of their beliefs, because I know that they're Mormon and I know that their beliefs follow very close to what Mormonism teaches, and because I was Mormon, I have a better understanding of what that is than perhaps they do of what I believe in, my perception of the world. You know what I mean? And they know I'm an atheist, but they don't, and an ex-Mormon, and that I don't like the Mormon Church for varied reasons. I don't know that they know why, but it just depends on the person. Anyway. Excuse me. So my beliefs, though. We will start here. You know, the difference between the supernatural and the natural is the supernatural is beyond the natural world, right? And I try to base my beliefs as much as possible on what I can find in the natural world, meaning what is empirically testable, right? What we can prove. And if something is not quantifiable, I have a harder time believing that. But you know, philosophy kind of goes past this, I think, past the supernatural, past the natural, and asks questions that don't necessarily have an answer that I think that we can prove. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong in saying this, but like different people have an idea of how wrong or right intrinsically humans are, right? Whether or not they would act good, well, or whether or not they would act poorly based on the situation, right? And that goes more into sociology and psychology. And anyway, on that subject, I highly recommend, The Lucifer Effect by Philip Zimbardo. He's a social psychologist who discussed why good people do bad things. It's fascinating. I love it. And I could get on into like recommending books you should read, and I have plenty of them that I would give you, but maybe that's for another time, because I'm talking about what I believe, and I think I'm stalling a little bit. For instance, okay, what is the purpose of life, if there is any? That's a question that we can't really find an answer to in the natural world, I don't think. It goes beyond that. It goes into something deeper inside of us, right? Okay, for instance, I'm going to just spout out some things I believe. I do not believe that there is a soul. I believe our personality is made up of our experiences and our brain chemistry, and how those experiences affect our brain chemistry. I do not believe that life is intrinsically worthwhile, but I believe that it can have worth, and that it has the potential for worth. I have not been so bold I know, you're saying so bold, but look what you just said, Jack. What? But I've not been so bold as to decide completely what makes a life worthwhile or not. I think it does, to an extent, have to do with what you're bringing into the world. And I think and Kelly and I argue this. We discuss and passionately discuss these things quite a bit. But, so most of these things I have talked over with Kelly, and we don't always agree, and that's okay. That's great, you know? I'm very lucky to have her in my life, because she really challenges me. My nose is itching like crazy. I believe that you do greater good by not saving a life, but in this world, but by making a life better. And of course you have to save a life to make it better, but I think that if you're someone who has saved countless lives, but make people feel crappy for who they are, unjustly, I guess how can you do that justly, but consistently over years and years and years, and you just put people down and they walk away from discussions with you feeling like they are less than a person, or like you made them feel like they were awful, and this happens consistently. I think you really need to examine what you're doing with your life, because I don't know many things. I think it's really important to make this world better, and world meaning sentient beings, and the planet on which we live, which is not necessarily, the planet is not a sentient being, but I think it is important to keep it going and to preserve it and to preserve its beauty, and I don't think we're doing that right now, as can be seen with global warming. I don't know why I have to say this. I believe humans evolved. I believe that the evidence, there's so much evidence. It's all there. Just go look for it. I don't believe in God. I don't believe God made us. I don't believe God is interested in us. I don't believe God has anything to do with this. I believe we made God. There we go. There's God. I don't believe in an afterlife. And I had a brother who had a near-death experience, and I treasure my relationship with him, and I love him a lot, and I would never want to hurt him. But I don't believe in an afterlife. And part of the reason is that near-death experiences are so conflicting. Is that the word? They say different things about the afterlife. Who knows? Maybe the afterlife is a multiverse where everybody who has died and had a near-death experience had a near-death experience with what they... I don't know. Maybe there's a multiverse afterlife. But I don't believe in an afterlife. And I would like to. But I don't see any evidence for it, and I want to be true. I have this thing about being true to myself, and I have a hard time living with myself when I don't feel like I'm being honest with myself, when I feel like I'm believing something because it comforts me, not because it's true. And so a lot of people are different, you know? Some of the things that I believe, I think there are certain people who may not be able to believe them just because they need that comfort. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to put that down at all. Like, we just have different needs, you know what I mean? I need to feel like even if it hurts, I'm telling myself the truth, and somebody else needs to feel like they need to take care of their well-being. It's the exact same thing, you know what I mean? We're taking care of our well-being, but it's in a different way. I believe that religion, the majority of it, has thrived off of the natural inclination towards ethnocentricity, which means that you don't like people. It's the in-group and the out-group. People in the in-group are awesome. The people in the out-group are terrible, and they're never as happy as people in the in-group, and they just don't have the truth, and at least we have the truth, and, you know, I think these